Hey y'all, Blaumagier here, we're back with more Sonic Origins Plus. On the last episode, we started through Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and made it about halfway. This episode, we're going to continue with Carnival Night Zone. And this is gonna be the music episode, I reckon. Because this and the two stages afterward are the two stages that had their music replaced. If you are unaware, these compositions were in the prototype that recently surfaced for Sonic 3, and also in the PC port of Sonic 3 back in, I think, 1995. Of course, they were a lot lower quality, being MIDIs on the PC port. A lot of people have been complaining about these tracks. I think they're fine. I have heard people complain that it's just this particular composition and not the track itself, and I guess that's fair. It is different. But people really need to understand, though, that, like, at this point, we are not getting Sonic 3 with the original songs ever again. Michael Jackson was involved in the composition of the soundtrack in some way. To my knowledge, it's still not confirmed exactly how, but it is confirmed that he was involved somehow. And his estate after his death is very litigious. It's just, it's not going to happen. We're not getting the original songs again. So with that in mind, it's really an issue of we kind of just have to learn to accept these songs. But I will say, if you really, really need the old songs and just can't live with the new ones, you can always get the PC version and mod it. Like, that's totally an option. I am not sure where these last 9 rings are. Oh no. I found them. Okay, let's redo this. But yeah, as far as the music goes, they aren't just out of nowhere. They were originally supposed to be the songs for these stages. And I think with that in mind, I'm able to just accept that that's the music for these stages now. See if I can get this perfect. Where are the other blue spheres? I always have trouble finding the darn things. Getting a little bit hard to control. Wait, this is like the starting area, I think? Yeah, I am so fast now that I can clear 2 whole spheres in one jump. But there we go. That is perfect for all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds. And now we can be supersonic. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a chance to listen to this music for a moment. And maybe afterward, I'll put in the original song for you to listen to in post. I don't know what just happened there. Hold up. What just happened? Why did I instantly untransform? I have never seen that happen before. I'm trying to get to that big ring. Because now that we have all the emeralds, the big rings are worth 50 rings. So the supersonic tune, it's no longer just the invincibility music, but it is kind of like a variant of it. Anyway, this mini boss, you just have to hit it to make it expose its core, and then wait for the spinning base to come back and hit it. This one only takes 4 hits as opposed to the usual 6. So that's our Act 2 music. Maybe I will put in the Act 2 music as well. You can compare the two. Although before that, I will just say that this stage adds water as a hazard. And just Carnival Night in general is this game's obligatory pinball/casino type stage. We always seem to get one. I'm not sure what turning out the lights is supposed to do, but Knuckles sure seemed proud of himself for that one. Oops. I got crushed. Well, luckily there is another water shield over here. Sonic can't normally get to it, but what the hell with Tails? Actually, Sonic can get to it thanks to that slope there. Hi, Tails. Prepare to bounce back and forth a lot in this stage. After all, it wouldn't be a pinball stage without that, would it? Crushing is a real concern in this stage. Especially right there. Just gotta get along carefully. We got this stage gimmick returning all the way from Scrap Brain Zone Act 2. Anyway, this switch will turn back on the lights. I think there's a big ring over here. Maybe not. Welcome to the bonus stage. When you have 50 rings or more, you get the gumball machine. I kind of wanted the lightning shield, if I'm being honest. And it dropped a lightning shield at the end. Oh well. The stage can be kind of long. Meet the Barrel of Doom. You can clearly see that I am pushing up and down to make it move now. But as kids, we didn't know how to make that thing move. Hence the nickname Barrel of Doom. It's such a simple hazard to get past that ended the games of so many children. I'll take that ring. Those ramps always remind me of peppermint candy canes. Oh, I love peppermint candy canes. Especially the ones that have like that chalky texture to them. I don't know if those are like higher quality candy canes or what. They are so good. Anyway, once we get there, we have arrived at the boss. And this boss is one of my least favorites. He'll try and drop his ball on you. Really the only time he's supposed to be vulnerable is when he drops down to pick up his ball. But with the insta-shield, we can hit him at other times safely. And that is all that he does. He'll drop the ball and then electrify around it, which will pull you in. Pick the ball up and go on. And you're meant to attack him when he lowers to pick up the ball. So, you might not like the Carnival Night music better. You might even think it's not really appropriate for a carnival type zone. But I do actually think the music here sounds good for an ice level. The only problem there is that the original track was one of the most legendary video game tracks of all time. But there's a pretty good reason for that. It wasn't just a video game track. It was plagiarized. Not really Sega's fault. It was plagiarized by Brad Buxer, who was actually a member of the band that he plagiarized it from. Anyway, the song is it's called Hard Times by the Jetsons. And it's a pretty good song, as you might imagine. I can't play the whole song, but I can play a little bit of snippet just so you can see how it is just straight up plagiarism. Now, as far as I'm aware, the current copyright holder actually kind of likes the fact that the song was in Sonic 3. But, you know, it is still plagiarism. That's really not the kind of thing you want to have in your game. Oh yeah, that was a mini-boss, by the way. Kind of goes back and forth, summons the ring of hail that he sent up in the sky, and it just falls down. Very simple to avoid. If you're not Knuckles, you can basically defeat him before he does anything. But I guess now we can get a listen to Act 2. And now the original. So the way this Eggman machine works here is he will alternate between shooting one out the left of the base, shooting one down the center, shooting one down the right. Only takes enough damage, he loses the base and just constantly shoots it out while lowering to where you can normally hit him. I'm sorry I didn't have much to say about that stage. It's a lot like Starlight Zone. It's very fast. There's a whole water section of the stage that most people never even see unless they play as Knuckles, because the stage really tries to keep you at the top of it. And now we have Launch Base Zone, which is the only one that I actually like less than the original composition. Okay, I guess that's not fair to say, because I do like the Ice Cap Zone one more, but, you know, plagiarism. I can't really get behind the plagiarism. And the original. as you can see, the original definitely has a lot of Michael Jackson influence in it. There's really no question that he was involved in it. It is a really good tune, though. Oh. Very catchy. It's great for a final level. This was the final level of Sonic 3, after all. So, this stage has these Orbonauts that don't ever actually throw their, spikes. And they're not safe to attack unless you are Sonic with the Insta-Shield, Amy, or Invincible. I think Tails might be able to clip one with his tails, but most of them are so close to the ground that that's probably not an option. That spike right there has crushed me so many times. I love these tubes, though. They remind me of the Jetsons. Not the band that did Hard Times, like the cartoon. Maybe that's too dated a reference? What else has tubes? Futurama? Anyway, there's going to be a lot of these switches that change a platform all throughout the level. That's kind of the big gimmick. That and these little cups that you ride in. It's another stage that's fast, but just very, very lengthy. He's got a bomb! Who knew Knuckles was a terrorist? Now we just get to watch this building crumble. That's okay, this is the boss. Tails actually got that hit off. That's kind of amazing. So this boss actually gets easier the more you damage it, because after 3 hits it loses one of the arms. And it only takes 6 hits to defeat. They actually make this more difficult if you play as Knuckles by making you fight 2 of them at once, but it's still easy. I think Act 2 has a better song than Act 1, but still not as good as the original. And the original. I do really want to point out the parallax scrolling vertically with the water. That is a really cool effect that you wouldn't expect to see on the Genesis. This invincibility monitor in Sonic 3 alone was a Dr. Eggman monitor, which damages you. It's quite the change. Okay, now we've talked about all of the music in this episode, including the Supersonic song, which I don't think anyone's actually complaining about the Supersonic song. It was a welcome change. Because honestly, when you're Supersonic, having the invincibility music on loop forever, it gets old fast. Speaking of the invincibility music, Sonic 3 had a different title screen song than Sonic and Knuckles did. And the title screen song is where both Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles get their invincibility music from. There were a lot more changes between Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, though, than just that. Knuckles' theme was changed as well, as was the, Sorry, lost my train of thought. As was the mini-boss theme. But when I'm talking about the music changes in this game, I'm specifically talking about the Sonic Origins changes over the original Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Anyway, that was a boss. Eggman just alternates shooting balls out of the top and the bottom section. And you're supposed to use the hatch to be able to jump on him. And then we jump into the Eggmobile for a ride. I guess Knuckles thinks he can stop it by punching it. But then Dr. Eggman lifts off with the Death Egg, which knocks Knuckles off of his scaffolding. And we get over here for our arena to face off with Dr. Eggman. Now, one thing I want to point out is that over on the left and the right where there's pits, obviously the original game was 4x3 and those pits weren't there. So now you kind of float. Anyway, this is another boss that gets easier as you deal damage to it. Starts off with the 2 lasers, it drops down to 1, and then eventually all it is just this, with the spike ball that orbits it. Spike ball does damage you, by the way. And in the original Sonic 3 and Knuckles, that would be it. But in Sonic 3, we had another boss. And it was restored to this version. This is the Big Arm. He has spikes on his head. And he has big old arms. If he grabs you, he slams you. So, you want to avoid that. After 2 passes, he will do this number where he goes back and forth across the top, then stops and drops to the bottom and does the same before flying off and resetting the pattern. It's not a difficult boss, but we did get some pretty good final boss music for it. They did think about the fact that it's not a 4x3 game anymore, though. And he does go the full width of the screen. The Insta-Shield isn't necessary to use here, but I do it as kind of an insurance policy, because it just makes your hitbox for damaging enemies so much bigger. It's actually my favorite extra ability for Sonic. I like it even more than the drop dash. Which I haven't even talked about, but we do have the drop dash. Another thing about the Insta Shield is it does actually give you like 1 or 2 invincibility frames when you use it. I should have gotten hit by the spikes on that 7th hit there, but I timed my Insta Shield just right that I didn't take damage. Anyway, we get a new cutscene that's not in any other version of the game. A new fanfare, because this was the original end of Sonic 3. If you were playing Sonic 3 by itself, you'd actually see the Death Egg explode here. And this is kind of like the intro to Sonic and Knuckles by itself, just without Sonic and Knuckles on the title screen. Anyway, that takes us to the first zone of Sonic and Knuckles proper, Mushroom Hill Zone, and we're going to end things off here. This has been Sonic Origins Plus. I am Blaumagier. If you liked the video, please leave me a comment, smash that like button, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!